to give you guys some tips for secure integration architecture and best practices. So these are on my learnings as well that I've learned over the period of my experience. So firstly, like the principle of least privilege. Uh, what does this mean? So principle of least privilege means like any user should not have more access than what is required. So and any connected app should not have more scopes or more access or scopes to needed than what it was originally designed for, right? So like for this, what I think last year Dreamforce Salesforce came up with new integration licenses. So it's always better to while setting up, let's say, the client credentials flow that I showed the demo also. So it's always better to use the integration user license. Give it a API only, or I think for the integration user license, API only is by default enabled. And like create a you'll get a separate profile for it. Give it all the accesses from scratch. Do not give more access than what is required. um, we also have a concept of authorization authentication, right? So authentication is like when you want to connect to an external system and you get the access token. Authorization is what the like after you get the access token, what you are authorized to do. So you should not be like having more access than what you are authorized to do. So this is what this principle majorly means. Then second part is the external client apps security settings. So like only whitelist the IPs. Like do not whitelist all the IPs. Only whitelist the IPs that you trust. So that is one thing. So actually, I as a scenario, I'll tell you, which we also faced recently. So like your IPv4, we all use the IPv4. So with IPv4, we can have up to 4 billion IP addresses. So in Salesforce, we can whitelist the IP addresses by just going to the network access and just adding all the 4 billion range. But recently there was a change. So the change included like you can only whitelist up to, let's say, 10 million IPs of the 4 billion. So a lot of people started facing issues related to device activation. So when they logged in, they were getting the two-factor verification for and like they were getting redirected to enter the verification code. So Salesforce is enforcing the IP related restrictions very yeah, very stubbornly. I'd say so. Yeah, on top of that, like I think we should only give IP relaxation only when it's needed, right? We should the session policies that we define, that should be per app, and per app should have a separate session policies. One, there should not be like session policies for the org level. So like if and it corresponds to the first point as well, that was the principle of least privilege. Then always try if you are not a system admin and you have some you are some other user. So as a system admin, like you should set up those settings like only high assurance users can manage or manage some of the settings. For example, login as. So if you're not a system admin, you want to do login as. So you should you should be highly you should do high assurance login. So what does high assurance login means? Like with username password, you should have other authentication enabled firstly, and whenever you want to do something, you'll be redirected to that extra authentication parameter. For example, you have the Salesforce Authenticator app setup. So whenever, let's say, you want to do login as, so firstly you need to you'll get a request, you need to approve it, then only you can perform that action. So and wherever possible, enable the high assurance login. Uh, the OAuth scopes that I showed you in the demo. So like try to give only the necessary OAuth scopes possible, avoid using full access. Then we have um, uh, for the connected apps, we have the consumer key, the consumer secrets. I think we should rotate our consumer key, consumer secrets. Maybe like plan to rotate it every 3 months. And let's say even if there is a leak and those credentials are leaked, if you guys have the practice of rotating the credentials in your org, then definitely it's a good practice. Then protecting sensitive data. We should in your APIs, while designing the APIs, we should not never send PIIs in the URL parameters. We should only send it in the request bodies. And like we should and we should use encryption for those PIIs. So whenever you are transferring data from one system to another, you should first encrypt that data, and the receiver should have should decrypt it and store it there. So uh, if, within Apex, we have the crypto class that provides encryption decryption functionalities for the data. Then about name credentials. Last year, Salesforce came up with a update for the name credentials. I think it was last year or last to last year, where we had the legacy name credentials and the new name credentials with external credentials. So external credentials is basically used to perform to get the access token, and each name credential is associated with the external credential. So I'd say that all you use name credentials is a good practice instead of using Apex or any customization to get the access token. Because firstly, it's like no code. And secondly, Salesforce has already taken care of the best practices or the security measures while creating name credentials and external credentials. So lastly, one tip I'll say that like you should monitor your token usage, as I showed in the demo as well, like how you can monitor. Uh, you should watch out for abnormal activities, refresh token frequency, login from an unexpected IP address. Um, and these are the early signs of compromise that you can catch before some real damage happens. So, I think that was pretty much it from my side. And